Pre-election voters considered pro-abortion measures in 10 states. The ballot initiative sought to enshrine abortion as a so-called right in state constitutions. Pro-lifers are claiming victory in 3 of those 10 states. They are the first since Roe v. Wade was overturned. In South Dakota, the law that protects babies during all 9 months of pregnancy will stay in place. 59% of the voters voted against Amendment G, which would have constitutionalized a so-called right to abortion in the first trimester. Nebraska also is considered a win for pro-lifers. The state is unique in that it had dueling abortion ballot measures. Nebraska Measure 434 would keep the 12-week abortion ban in place. Measure 439 would extend the window of allowing abortion until 24 weeks. The extension to 24 weeks failed, so abortion will be allowed until 12 weeks, but it is considered the lesser of 2 evils. And in Florida, pro-life leaders are celebrating a win there. A heartbeat law that went into effect earlier this year will remain the law of the land because an abortion measure failed to get the necessary 60% of the vote. But it was close. In fact, 57% of voters wanted to constitutionalize abortion there, falling short of the needed 60%. And the Florida Catholic bishops, while proudly relieved that the pro-abortion measure was defeated, noted that much work still needs to be done. And joining us now is pro-life leader Jeanne Mancini, the current president of the March for Life. Jeanne, always great to see you. A lot to talk about, but first, I want to get your reaction to the abortion ballot results. And were there any surprises for you?
Well, they were all pleasant surprises. I mean, we were hopeful, but we were. So let me actually just take a step back. Here we've been living in the cultural reverberation of the overturn of Roe v. Wade, which to so many of us, we know the overturn was incredible, but our culture has been so confused, and we've had sort of this earthquake culturally, and we've really been fighting upstream, swimming upstream for the last few years as pro-lifers. And I woke up this morning and I feel that the pendulum is coming back in the direction of life, and in large part because of these surprises, to get back to your question of these ballot initiatives. So that we took one state, Florida, was incredible. And that alone is just, I mean, there's so much to learn, but three states, we fought back these aggressive measures. And in one state, we're able to enact pro-life protections. This is incredible. And there's so much more, but that's just a start.
Yeah, absolutely. Judy, I want to ask you this, for the losses that were there yesterday, you mentioned confusion. There was a lot of misinformation about abortion during this election cycle. How much of a role do you think that played into some of the results?
Well, I absolutely think it played into the results. And by the way, the confusion and the deception is well funded. I mean, we have to be clear that let's see, so 160 million were put into, on the pro-abortion side, these referendums around the country. So the fact that we were able to win any was a pretty massive thing. The other thing, too, is when we look at the presidential campaign, Kamala Harris made abortion kind of the heartbeat of her campaign. She went front and center on this issue. And so even that in and of itself, where Americans came down on that has a lot to say about where Americans are on life. The Democratic ticket was far too extreme and out of touch with mainstream America on this issue. And so again, I think the pendulum's swinging back. We continue every day to build a culture of life, but we're moving in the right direction culturally again.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good to see that. I want to talk about coming up in January. That's when President-elect Trump is going to retake the office there. And January is also when we have March for Life. And now that we're going to have a more pro-life administration in the White House, Jeanne, what kind of feeling do you think there will be at the March for Life this year because of that?
Well, I can tell you, our spirits are so buoyed today. Again, sort of leading with the ballot initiative wins. We're just so excited about that. But also we know that President Trump, in his administration, in terms of just looking at the policy that was enacted in those 4 years, he was arguably the most pro-life president ever. And so if he would only just begin by reinstating what he originally did, for example, like the Protecting Life and Global Health Act, Act kind of, measures. If he could do that on day one, just reinstating sort of what's been undone in the Biden administration, we'd get so far. So yes, we are very excited at the March for Life. And we know that relationships really need to be built and continue to be built with the Trump administration. Our president-elect, Jenny Lichter, worked in the Trump administration in the Domestic Policy Council. And so we're eager to continue to build those relationships and to do everything we can to build a culture of life.
Yeah, and Jeanne, just really quickly, I want to throw this out. We were looking at pictures of President Trump at the March for Life. Any idea maybe if he or Vice President-elect Vance might get invited this year to speak?
Well, every year we invite, even including like in a Biden administration, we invite presidents to come and march with us. So we, of course, would be excited for the president to come and march and be with the marchers again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Jeanne, great to be with you as always. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thanks, Tracy.